Hi Cancer, welcome to March mid-monthly horoscope and taroscope. Welcome back to my channel if you're a regular here, and if you're new, please subscribe to the channel. It's been 3 supermoons this year. Cancer, that's a lot for a sign that is ruled by La Luna. Now, this final supermoon is going to be in the sign of Libra. But the difference is we get another full moon in Libra on the 19th of April. So for you guys, Libra is actually your 4th house and Cancer is a 4th house sign. So if you're feeling particularly sensitive, I mean, life as a water sign is always quite sensitive, very feeling oriented people. But something about this full moon could feel more like a Cancer than ever before. You know, even people that aren't into astrology but are under the sign of Cancer will feel more like their sign. They'd be more likely to say, you know, that is true for me. On the 20th of March, where there's a lot of astro activity going on, the sun moves into your career hotspot, shining this light on what it is that you're going to achieve in your career. Now, this is the first time since 2011 we've had this season without Uranus throwing these shocks and twists and surprises into the mix. And to have Uranus in your career sector can be such a wonderful thing because you can break free, you can break barriers, you can make good headway. Especially the people in show business that you notice that are Cancerians have made a lot of revolutionary style changes in their arena. You know, we saw Ariana Grande smashing records that only the Beatles had smashed. Or even people, you know, for example, like Khloe Kardashian and her jeans line, or Shane Dawson, the YouTuber, and his documentaries. So really, Cancer, the sky is the limit this season. You know, Uranus will have taught you how to be your own boss and touch your own judgment in many ways. We still have Chiron in Aries, but at the same point, that's sort of helping you heal in your career. There could be great healing coming from the work that you're doing, particularly this month. If you're feeling a little bit fragile, and if your world has possibly been a bit knocked upside down by some recent news, career is going to be a big step for you. Even if you're not happy in your career, Cancer, you can still set yourself some kind of miniature goal to work on, because it's scientifically proven that people with goals are happier. So let's talk about this Libra supermoon in your home sector. So relationships with females in particular, in your family, relationships with females that feel like family, there will be a big culmination of events going on there. So something will reach a climax, an important conversation you need to have, somebody where you can express your feelings, some sort of dramatic matter gets resolved. There's some kind of transition, and this full moon may also make you super and hyper aware of a trauma or pain from childhood that you're carrying through that is manifesting in your relationships. For some of you, it's your relationship with your mother, but there could be heightened emotions come to a point that you possibly thought you'd got over. That supermoon's going to be doing it for a lot of people. It's kind of this lovely diplomatic energy that can really heal relationships, particularly with people from the past. And I'm thinking more along the lines of estrangements in family, friendships gone awry. There can be this diplomatic energy making peace with people. And for you guys as well, on the 20th, Mars in Taurus is trining off Pluto. And these are hitting you in your friendship sector and your romantic sector. So friends may become lovers, lovers may become friends. You might find love with a friend, or you may reconnect with an old lover or old friend online, in particular on social media through technology, which is, I suppose, to be fair, that's quite common these days. But nonetheless, there's a really interesting diplomatic energy when relations are heightened, and it may be that if you don't listen to your feelings and you're not expressing yourself, you may become somewhat unreasonable. The key here is to be open to talk, you know, be open to these energies, particularly if they're with people that feel like family. And if you're completely aware of this relationship being unhealthy and being toxic, it's a great full moon to remove it, you know, like let it go, let it pass on, because full moons, they illuminate the things that we need to see, but they can also close chapters. So you may close an important chapter. off with somebody who's possibly taken you for granted. And within the family dynamic, it seems to be the area that a lot of Cancers will feel affected. It will be different depending on your own moon sign, Cancer. Do check that out, because a lot of the time the full moons can affect your moon sign more than they affect your sun, you know. But we do have a brand new beginning. And this card has come up for, I think it was Scorpio just. Or was it Pisces? It was one of the other water signs. And basically with the Fool, you note here, on the same day the sun moves into Aries and we begin the beginning of the zodiac, which is represented by the Fool card, we also have the number 0. Okay, so starting from the bottom, 0 degree supermoon in Libra. So something very transformative is occurring. There is a new cycle. There is a new beginning. There's fresh energy. For some of you, there's fresh romance. Or there's changes surrounding a child in your family dynamic. It could be a child of yours. Ooh, wow, strength. Okay. For some of you, there's Leo energy. There is a mother-child dynamic that is very strong here. And that makes a lot of sense with the 4th house energy. Your relationship with your mother or your relationship with your children, particularly daughters, are very heightened, very important. One of you may be taking on a caring role or switching up roles. You know, where your mother takes care of you and then you take care of your mother. That transition in life for many people. But it can also sort of represent unhealthy dynamics where you worry about someone more than they worry about themselves. Okay? So we have a few things coming in here, Cancer. There can also be, now bear in mind, Venus goes into Pisces, right? So it is Pisces season. Venus goes into Pisces on the 26th of March, which is much more complementary energy for you rather than Venus in Aquarius. Cancer energy is all about that. Pisces energy, is all about that wanderlust for you. You know, where do you want to go? The Fool card. What do you want to see? Who do you want to meet? What do you want to experience? And most importantly, what is it that you need to say over this full moon in Libra? What is it that you need to express when it comes to your family dynamic? And who do you need to cut off? Because sometimes the Ace of Swords can be just that. It can be cutting a tie that has become overbearing and too much pressure. Okay. Could be with another water sign. It could be with a Pisces. Could be with a Scorpio. Oh, interesting. But you're not alone on your journey, actually. So that's kind of intriguing. You're not alone going forward, Cancer. You're working towards a goal slowly but surely. Your greatest refuge at the end of March, Cancer, with this hypersensitive, hyper-aware full moon, is to pursue a goal that you let go of. It could be something financial. It could be an idea. But there's some sort of... It seems to be... It could be very creative as well. There seems to be some sort of talent that you've been ignoring or not acknowledging. Now, the difference about these relationships are, Cancer, it's kind of as though Mercury retrograde, you know, retrograding in your travel sector, has made you think back to a time that seemed carefree. Possibly looking back in the past with rose-tinted glasses. At a relationship where you felt needed, but it was actually very codependent. And for some of you, it was a fire sign. For some of you, it was a water sign, but it could be either or. It was almost as though you took on the mothership role in more than one area, which is what Cancers do. But in saying that, it's almost as though you've began some sort of new journey. And as you're beginning this journey, your thought pattern is getting more and more clouded. You know, that's Pisces season. There's this Sun-Neptune conjunction energy that's casting a fog on people. With Mercury retrograding in that sector, it's very hard to be clear on what you're trying to achieve or what the objective is. And as we know with the law of attraction, when you're not certain of something, you get mixed results. Clarity of thought is what generates clarity in general. So Ace of Swords means you get that idea as Mercury goes direct at the very end of the month. And as you get that idea, you see what direction you need to go to. Taking on more and more and more and more until you're in a 10 of Wands moment, though, Cancer, isn't going to work for you, whatever this is, because for some of you it's romantic and some of you it's family for sure. I do see for a lot of Cancerians the potential for a new love relationship with a Leo. But one thing that I would advise, that with the Mercury retrograde energy, Cancer, it's important to be aware of where you're doing all the work. Because for some reason you're more comfortable in that role. And being comfortable in the role where you do most of the work it's very hard to move past that when you realize you're being exploited in a way. You know, once you have that moment of realization that someone is taking more from you than you're giving in, and what you're actually getting from them are empty words, it's very hard to shift that energy and move forward with that person if that's what you're hoping to do. So it's an interesting perspective that you have going into Aries season, Cancer, whereby you start to feel more like the boss and less like the servant in all relationships and your workplace. You start to get this real inner strength and inner peace back, and you sleep better after Pisces season. Your dreams aren't so messed up. When we go into Aries season, even though Venus is shifting into Pisces, as we go into Aries season, you are working harder, thinking smarter, and you're feeling more and more like the boss that you are, because Cancers never seem to directly push themselves into the limelight, but they end up there very often, whether it's in their work environment, in their home even, you know, being the matriarch of the family or the patriarch of the family. It's kind of as though you get your crown back when you get your voice back. There's something that needs to be said over the full moon in Libra, this supermoon. Something that needs to be said and expressed. And interestingly, it could be thinking towards the future of a very important relationship. For some of you, it kind of looks like a proposal, or going in search of greater commitment. You know, someone who has been less than forthcoming with their words and their intentions finally makes a significant point. It's kind of as though there's talk about this in the future. I don't know that this necessarily happens straight away, because Mercury is in retrograde. You have to watch what people do rather than what they say, because when you read into what they're saying, you might take 2 and 2 and make 5. Although with this full moon in Libra, you know, because Libra is very diplomatic, there seems to be a kind of compromise in terms of what direction you guys are going in. So it's almost like Cancer, you're shedding off these top-heavy relationships and going off in search of something that can last, which is important. I will say that it's very, very important that you do that. With the Piscean energy at the moment, it may have felt a little bit like drowning at times. And it may have been a little bit, the truth might have been quite a hard pill to swallow for some Cancers in terms of the people they have surrounded themselves with, or brought into their home is more the thing. You know, you will see the people that you've brought into your home very, very, very clearly over the next couple of months, because this Libra full moon is going to roll around again in a different form, but with similar energy. So you're going to have very, very, very clear perceptions of the people that you're bringing in and out of your home, in and out of your shell. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have a very, very, very clear intention going on about what they're doing and what their intentions are. There is somebody that you may suspect has bad intentions, but actually has good intentions. Okay, somebody that is actually thinking of the future and you're not sure that they are. Because this to me looks more as though there's something to be worked towards. So that could be many things for many people, different strokes for different folks. But the Knight of Cups and the Hierophant is some kind of commitment. And this, bear in mind, it can be, because you are a water sign, this can be commitment to yourself, it can be commitment to a child, but it's all about riding forward with great happiness and ease. Ooh, fertility. It is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. This is a very, very fresh energy. Even this one, go outside, Cordelia. You've been indoors for too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. Yeah. It's all about the spring. And even she has a little moon on her forehead, which is very representative of the Cancer symbols. The crescent moon feeling. But this is beautiful in terms of planting new seeds and seeing where they grow. Because there is, with the Fool, there's always this optimism that comes with it. It's kind of like, we don't see the Tower, we don't see the Death card, we don't see the traumatic change. What we actually see is hope in a new beginning. And we see a story of moving from unhealthy dependency, codependency, all that energy sort of starts to change in the progression forward. It's like there's a goal to work towards or a project to work towards, and it brings in your focus. And now that you have that focus, you feel like a boss again. And that's what Aries season is going to be for you, Cancer. You're going to be the boss. And with Jupiter in your 6th house, your day-to-day work, your health, goal setting, be they small, be they big, goal setting is what's going to be driving you forward into a healthier set of circumstances, whether it's in your relationships, your family, having goals, having things to achieve. And even if there's somebody that you feel like everything's topsy-turvy, having a mutual goal seems to be balancing out the power dynamic. I really like this one for you, Cancer. The skies at the end of March probably feel really quite emotional, and with Mars, Mars is in Taurus. Mars will go into Gemini on the 31st, and Mars in your 12th house may kick up a bit more of the subconscious dealings than you'd like it to, but it's preparing you for your season. Because Cancer season is so beautiful, and last year we had those really interesting, all the lunar activity then. It's kind of as though, Cancer, you should really be very, very excited to turn over a new leaf in something. And it's hard for Cancerians to go through change at times, but there is something brand new and shiny here for you. And everything starts with the mind. So fertility, whatever that means to you, whatever it is you're beginning at the end of March, seems to be something that takes you out of your comfort zone and brings you into a much more focused, optimistic, and powerful stance. So stick to your guns with the Hierophant here. You know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing now, you will do by the end of March. Okay, Cancer, so I love you very much, and I'll see you in the next set of readings. Bye.